I have the only gun on board. Welcome to Con Air.
A lot can be said about this movie. It's a Jerry Bruckheimer's first solo production after his partner died. It contains some of the worst Alabama accent from a guy that is not from Alabama. And it is a movie that raised the actor's profile of not only the main hero, but also the main villain, and some of the rest of the cast. It was shot almost back-to-back with yet another Cage movie that came out just a couple of months after this release. And to me, it is Nicolas Cage at the peak of his game. But is the movie any good? I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie Con Air.
I said, put the bunny back in the box.
Con Air came out in 1997, just a couple of months before Face Off. The two were shot almost back-to-back, and both have similar through lines in the way that Cage plays both the hero and the villain. In Face Off, it is much more obvious. In Con Air, it's a little bit different and complex. The story starts with Cameron Poe coming back home after he served his country as an Army Ranger. He meets his wife at a bar that she works for and has to contend with the local attendees that heckle her. Things escalate in the parking lot as Poe kills one of the three attackers and gets convicted of manslaughter. In jail, Cameron keeps his nose clean, he finds some friends, and keeps writing to his wife. And when his daughter gets older, he writes to her as well. Finally, the blessed day arrives, and he is about to go free on parole. Unlucky for Poe, on his flight, there are some serious criminals on board, and they manage to free themselves and kidnap the plane.
Carson City. The law is down there. You lost your mind?
According to my last psych evaluation. Yes.
But, of course, there are complications. The plane is supposed to pick up a drug lord's son, so a DEA agent is brought on board to try and convince him to rat out. This complicates things because he illegally brings a gun on board, which starts a shootout and puts everyone in peril.
All right, cowboy, I'm back.
Stay back!
You know you're in a situation you can't control, right?
Despite all the problems, the convicts on the plane manage to pick up the drug lord's son, trade in one pilot for another, and make the plane invisible to the cops and land on a remote airfield. All the while, Poe is trying to protect himself, his friend who needs medication, and a female guard that was taken hostage.
All right, here's how it's gonna play. I'm gonna get you that needle.
Whatever you say, man, just do what you gotta do.
And of course, deal with a bunch of psychotic criminals that want nothing but to be free and to kill anyone who will be in their way.
Despise rapists. For me, you're somewhere between a cockroach and that white stuff that accumulates at the corner of your mouth when you're really thirsty.
This movie is a quintessential Bruckheimer action movie from the 90s. Lots of explosions, lots of action set piece, a few car chases, slow motion shots, not as crazy as John Woo, and tons of humor interjected throughout everything. I rewatched this movie after not touching it for a while, and I forgot how funny this movie really is. The subtle humor and the not so subtle humor between the characters is just great.
Open up. Oh, man, it smells like so much shit in your mouth.
Told me he loved me.
Get out of my face.
All right.
First, let's talk about the bad stuff. This movie is not perfect. I didn't know it at the time, but there were constant and almost daily rewrites of the script that drove the established actors like John Malkovich and Joan Cusack up the walls. The head writer even quit a bunch of times and of course came back during the whole ordeal. An experienced moviegoer can spot all of those inconsistencies here and there, but on the whole, it's probably that ending that puts things quite off the rails.
One engine shot to shit, zero fuel, and we're dropping too fast. Strip's where I'm gonna land. Only the word is crash.
And it all culminates in a Rasputin-type ending for one of the villains that gets stabbed, electrocuted, pushed through a bridge, and ending up getting his skull crushed by a massive jackhammer. But the messy ending is not only the issue. the Diamond Dog character was a bit mishandled. It was introduced as a menacing character, a pivotal role in taking over the plane, but as soon as the plane does its first pickup, Diamond Dog becomes ineffectual to the story. Even after they reach the second destination, the dog gets overruled and not allowed to become who he wanted to be. Ving Rhames was situated as one of the main villains of this movie, but it seems to me that he was nothing but a side character by the end.
Poe's right. We're going to plan B. Gonna get a refueling truck and tractor. So get back there and dig the plane out.
Another scene that didn't really make sense was the Garland Green's conversation with the little girl. Green, who was played by Steve Buscemi, was set up to be a serial killer in the vein of Hannibal Lecter, but in effect, he didn't really threaten anyone, nor did he do anything to the little girl. He just ended up being creepy and saying creepy stuff, but no more than that. The scene with the little girl ended up being weird, unnecessary, and contributed nothing to the story.
You look sick.
I am sick.
You take medicine?
There is no medicine for what I have.
And all of these things can be forgiven because the rest of the movie was so entertaining. Because it is a star-studded cast, everyone at least had a little time to shine. Whether it's Col Meany, who played the cocky DE operator, who got his comeuppance at the end.
She sure is beautiful. Hey, beautiful. Sunsets are beautiful. Newborn babies are beautiful. This is fucking spectacular.
Cusack, who played Vince Larkin, the head of the Con Air operation, was smart, cunning, and knew his inmates front and back, and knew the character of Cameron Poe right from the beginning, and trusted him to do the right thing when it came down to it.
A convict named Cameron Poe planted Sim's tape recorder on him. These are interesting facts. You do the math on this, and we got an ally on that plane.
Dave Chappelle, who improvised most of his line in the movie, was just funny as hell.
So we are 3 white guys short. Or as they say in Ebonics, we be fucked.
Danny Trejo played Johnny 23 very convincingly, and Nick Chitlund, who played Billy Bedlam, was just menacing as he can be. A main highlight for me was John Malkovich, who played Cyrus the Virus. It was a joy to watch. You love to hate him from the start until the bloody finish. He is cunning, ruthless, and he sniffs out trouble. But he knows how the game is played, with the other criminals especially. He respects Poe as far as he can throw a stone, and he uses him just as much as Poe uses Cyrus to gain his trust. Despite the fact that Malkovich really hated his time on the set, I think that this role will go down as one of his best.
My name? Yeah. Poe. Nice work, Poe. Truly nice work.
The next big highlight of this movie is definitely Nicolas Cage. Putting his weird Alabama accent aside, he was just great in this role. He played a man who went into the army to calm his inner rage, but it is that rage that made him a badass when it comes to violence and action. But Cameron Poe grows and learns, and it is prison that teaches him that. You know everything you wanted to know about the character of Poe and his transformation from the letters he writes to his wife and his daughter. And that carries him through the rest of the movie, and in the way he controls himself and how he assesses situations that he's in.
See, I knew I was right about you. I read your file. You're not such a bad guy, just always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Goodbye, Larkin.
Overall, I have to recommend you watch this movie. It is a great action movie that has a lot of humor in it. It is entertaining if you watch it by yourself, and even more entertaining if you watch it with a bunch of friends. It doesn't have a lot of Cageisms, but it does have Nicolas Cage at his absolute best.
You know what I am?
Ugly all day. This ain't happening. Not here. Not now.
What's happening?
I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button to help me out and beat that algorithm. Check out other reviews that I've done in the past, or check out our live Saturday show where we cover all sorts of amazing films, including this one. And remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.